basically want to show you from the start of the video is you shouldn't let skill level necessarily keep you from working on your comics. You can still write stories anyway. I want to show a variety of different styles that other artists have used. So let's show you the variety. I figure we could start with something like Brian Lee O'Malley, the creator of Scott Pilgrim. This is his 10th year anniversary. Supposedly, I think it's one of his first graphic novels he's ever done. But if you look, his style is incredibly chunky. Like, it looks like he used either a brush pen or marker. The characters stand out. He knows he knows what he's doing with the pen. And this is kind of the way I like to ink, personally. And if you notice, nothing gets super small. You can still tell what everything is. Like, there's a mountain, obviously a cat. You tell those are trees, and they're very gestural. And he puts the most detail in his figures. Like, that's probably as small as detail the backgrounds get in this book are those trees back there. They might put some smear, but for the most part, it's very, very chunky. It's not super crisp. It's a very good book. I like it. And it's basically just Scott Pilgrim came later, so you can see the resemblance. As Lost at Sea, another book that I find really interesting as far as style is Seeds by Gilt. And her style, I believe it's her style is very painterly. And it relies a lot on the use of color to express a lot of the emotion and theme, much like what Disney and Pixar does. And her style, I believe, is inspired a lot by Pokemon and Digimon and a lot of various monster-esque cartoons. This comic's about like hell and heaven and little monsters and islands, and it's pretty good. I like it. And then on the other side of the spectrum, you got things like Garfield, right? Where is that? I want to show. Oh, this thing is falling apart. Good grief! Fluid or something. Shit. I mean, this style has really evolved since then. It went from that to this within the years. So your style's going to change too as you work on your comic, and that shouldn't stop you from, starting it, I don't think. Another one of my favorites is Trigun. This is the Maximum, but God, this is 80s as fuck. I love it. And a lot of these styles, I mean, use a variety. Like Scott Pilgrim used a lot of like chunky ink brush lines, and Trigun looks like he used a lot of just a pen, a simple mechanical pen. There's not a whole lot of line weight. I mean, there's some right around the face, obviously, but it's not a whole lot. It might be around the coat. And then you go to styles like Bobobo. And I love making fun of this comp. Like, I love it, but I love making fun of it because of just how bad it looks. Like, there's like a level of amateur, but it's still appealing. Like what the crap? It's a plane and a Speedo with the way the arms are drawn, the muscles. I mean, it really is a really goofy looking comic. Look how thick the neck is on that lady. An evil villain, that's a car. incredibly silly comic. And this is by Akira Toriyama. This is a kid's book he did called Kawa, if I'm pronouncing that right. But it's a kid's book, and the entire thing is just drawn in pen. The entire thing is pen. I mean, seriously. There isn't any line weight that I'm aware of in this. It's just pen and just some blacks and uses in tone. I mean, you could do a whole comic in just a simple pen. You have a whole lot of fancy tools. Style really complements the story you're telling, and of course, you know, Fooly Cooly, and everyone that I know in my circle is aware of, you know, their style. But they combine it. They combine pen and really rough things. You can do this traditionally or digital. Super over simplistic. I love it. Like a minimalistic kind of style. It's really interesting. And then you got, boom! This is the original style of the Ninja Turtles and how it was drawn back in 1984, 85, I can't remember. Two guys were literally drawing this thing on their coffee table. And if you ask anybody, any professional comic book artists, I know a lot of them who just, this thing is ranked as being drawn terrible, frankly. And I think it's kind of wonderful. I love seeing how where comics start, end, and begin. If you got a good idea and a good story, it's well written, and your friends like it, go for it, seriously. Look at this. Oh man. I have quite the collection of just various styles and comic books, just so I can get an idea of what works, doesn't work, and there's so much black in this, it's hard to tell half the time where everything is. And then for my last example, The Far Side. Old classic, love this. I read this all the time when I was like a little kid. This entire comic was the newspaper for a long, long time, and the entire thing is drawn with a pen. You could do a comic like this with literally a ballpoint pen or any pen. It doesn't even have to be precise V pen. I mean, a lot of my thumbnails and sketches in my sketchbooks look really looser than this, but look at this. This rough cross hatching. And this guy did it for a living, professional. He's a really, really funny guy. Really funny guy. You guys should look him up. Gary Larson. But yeah, that's different styles. And what I want to do with the channel is to show that you can create your comic based off the story and find a complementary style, or you can wait for the right style. I've done that too. And it's kind of I want to show little art lessons you can use for whatever style I'm kind of doing. I like doing indie comics personally. This is a drawing lab book I got, and it shows how to manipulate certain styles, and it has exercises in it. But if you found this inspirational, please subscribe. I'll have other videos, and you can ask for what you'd like to see. Appreciate the support. Thanks, guys. Bye.